Hello, today I'm just going to introduce a new tool. It's called vectorizing, all right? Um, so many of us have been making shapes and tracing what we want to make, clicking the nodes, and then we have our shape. We can double click, come back, and edit those nodes. It's really important to know how to do that, but I'm going to show you a way that will help take things from the internet and turn them into those vectors a little easier. So if we just type in hockey and go to images, I get a bunch of hockey players. And I can totally trace these and they'll turn out just fine. If I go vector behind it, I get silhouettes. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for things like this. Okay. So the more pixels in an image, the better it's probably going to turn out. So sometimes I go to tools, size, large, and then my better things appear up front. So I think this one looks pretty good, but for me to be able to trace all this would take forever. So I'm just going to copy image and paste it in there. The vinyl cutter would treat this as an image, which it is, and it wouldn't cut anything. So we're going to convert it so that the vinyl cutter knows what to do. So we start out by double clicking on it, and I am now in bitmap editor. If I need to crop anything, I can just highlight what I want and then hit crop and it'll shrink it down to that. From here on out, I go to posterize. Just click yes, yes, okay. Typically, like 98%, this is totally fine. If you have two jagged edges and you know they should be a little more cleaner, you can mess with these settings, but typically it should be just fine. Click OK. And then here is where I add my colors. So black's my first color. Color 2 is white. If I had an additional color like red, I would click in here. If I want to change like the glove or the stick red, I have to do that afterwards. I'm just using it for the image right now. So color 2 is white. If I had blue in here, I'd click on blue. Next one, green, click on that, and so on. Since this is just black and white, that's all I have. Then I adjust the tolerances. So here's my image, and then here's what shows up. So it has all this copyright stuff in it. So I'm going to crank the tolerance of the black up until it takes over what was the dark gray up here. So I'm going to bounce the tolerance until I get something I like. Okay. And then it's going to do filtering image. It's going to load up. Okay. And then when that's done, I can go to vectorize. When I click this, notice white appears over here. So now white and black are needed to complete this job. So it added the colors that I needed over here on my job palette. I'm going to click close, drag this top one over. So now I have a finished image and I have a finished vector. So I'm just going to figure out which one's which by tapping Alt S. I know this is a vector now. Typically I just delete this. From here I'm going to go layout, ungroup all. I could click on this and delete, and then go in here and delete every single one. I'm just going to highlight, weld, make sure those punch through the background layer, yes, and then it should delete all the white. So just to take a look, yep, this white is there. If I undo that, now I'll go and change the white to whatever color. So if you wanted to do a two color, you could start changing up the colors here and then deleting what you don't want. So that's just a simple tool that's going to help things go much faster. We had to start drawing things because It's very important for you to know how to edit nodes, and then if this doesn't turn out, I can go back in here and edit everything and make sure it turns out okay. But that is, once again, vectorizing, and that should help you move along a little faster when doing complex shapes.